Hello, and welcome to this little corner of the internet where we're going to talk about something pretty neat. You've probably heard its name buzzing around, ChatGPT. So, what is it, really? Imagine you have a super smart friend who has read almost every book, article, and website ever created. This friend can answer your questions, write stories, help with your homework, and even brainstorm ideas with you. That's kind of what ChatGPT is. It's a computer program designed to understand and use human language. It doesn't have feelings or a consciousness, but it's incredibly good at processing information and communicating in a way that feels very natural, almost like you're talking to a person. Now, how does this amazing tool actually work? It's all based on something called a large language model, or LLM. Think of it like a giant prediction machine. When you type something to it, it doesn't think about the answer in the way a human does. Instead, it looks at the patterns in all the text it has ever learned from. It then calculates which word is most likely to come next, and then the next, and the next, creating whole sentences and paragraphs that make sense. It's a very complex game of what comes next, but on a massive, almost unimaginable scale. This process allows it to generate text that is often helpful, creative, and surprisingly human-like. So this isn't magic, even though it sometimes feels like it. It's science, computer science to be exact. The creators of ChatGPT fed it a gigantic amount of text from the internet. Through this process, it learned grammar, facts, different writing styles, and how ideas connect. Because it learned from such a wide variety of sources, it can talk about almost anything, from the history of ancient Rome to the science behind baking a perfect cookie. It's a powerful tool built on patterns and probabilities, ready to chat with you about whatever is on your mind. It's like having a universal encyclopedia that you can have a conversation with. The cool thing is that this technology is accessible to almost everyone. You don't need to be a computer whiz or a scientist to use it. All you need is a question or an idea. It's designed to be a helpful assistant for all sorts of people, from students who need help understanding a difficult topic to writers looking for a spark of inspiration. It's a tool for curiosity, and like any tool, the more you understand how to use it, the more useful it becomes. That's what we're going to explore next: how to talk to ChatGPT in a way that gets you the best possible results for what you need. So, we have this super smart computer program. How do we actually get it to do anything? We can't just stare at the screen and hope it reads our minds. We need to give it instructions. In the world of ChatGPT, these instructions are called prompts. A prompt is simply whatever you type into the chat box. It can be a question, a command, a statement, or even just a single word. Think of it like talking to a very literal genie. The prompt is your wish. It's the starting point that tells ChatGPT what you want it to do or what you want to talk about. It's the most important part of the entire conversation. Why does the prompt matter so much? Well, because ChatGPT doesn't know what you're thinking. It only knows what you write. A vague or unclear prompt will likely get you a vague or unhelpful answer. If you just type, "Tell me about dogs," you might get a very general long article about dog biology, history, and breeds. But maybe you just wanted to know which dog breeds are good for small apartments. A better, more specific prompt would have given you exactly the information you were looking for. A clear prompt acts like a good map, guiding ChatGPT directly to the destination you have in mind. Let's look at a couple of examples. A simple prompt might be, "What is the capital of France?" This is direct and clear, and ChatGPT will easily answer Paris. But what if you need something more complex? A good prompt could be, "Explain the water cycle to me like I'm a 10-year-old. Use a fun analogy, see the difference?" The second prompt gives much more direction. It sets the topic, the target audience, and the desired tone. This helps ChatGPT narrow down its vast knowledge and give you a response that is not just correct, but also perfectly suited to your needs. Ultimately, the quality of the answer you get from ChatGPT is directly tied to the quality of the prompt you provide. It's a partnership. You provide the direction, and ChatGPT provides the information and generates the text. Learning to write good prompts is like learning a new skill. It's the difference between wandering aimlessly in a library and having a skilled librarian help you find the exact book you need. A well-crafted prompt saves you time, reduces frustration, and unlocks the true potential of this amazing technology. It puts you in the driver's seat of the conversation. Alright, so we know that good prompts are the key, but how do we write them? What are the secret ingredients? It's actually simpler than you might think. The first and most important tip is to be specific. Don't be shy about adding details. Instead of asking, "Write a story," try something much more specific, like, Write a short, happy story about a talking squirrel named Squeaky who finds a giant acorn and decides to share it with his friends in the forest. This gives ChatGPT a character, a plot point, and a tone to work with, leading to a much more interesting result. Another great tip is to tell ChatGPT who it should be. This is called setting a persona. You can ask it to act as an expert in a certain field, a travel guide, a friendly tutor, or even a pirate. For example, you could say, "You are an expert chef." Explain the 5 mother sauces of French cuisine in a simple way for a beginner cook. By giving it a role to play, you help it adopt the right tone, vocabulary, and style for your request. This simple trick can dramatically change the quality and usefulness of its answers, making them feel more authentic and tailored specifically to what you are looking for. Don't be afraid to guide the format of the answer. Do you want a list, a table, a paragraph, a poem? Just ask for it. For example, you could prompt, "List the top 5 largest planets in our solar system in a table." Include a column for their diameter and a fun fact about each one. By specifying the format, you make the information easier for you to read and understand. This is much better than getting a dense paragraph of text that you have to sift through to find the facts you need. You are the director of this show, so tell your actor exactly how you want this scene to look. Finally, remember that a conversation doesn't have to end after one question. You can and should ask follow-up questions. If ChatGPT gives you an answer, and it's almost right but not quite perfect, just tell it what to change. You can say things like, "That's great, but can you make it a little funnier?" Or, "Can you explain that last point in more detail?" Or now, rewrite that from the perspective of the talking squirrel. This iterative process of refining the answers through follow-up prompts is one of the most powerful ways to use ChatGPT. It's a dialogue, not a one-time command. We've covered a lot of ground here. We've learned that ChatGPT is like a knowledgeable conversational partner, powered by incredible computer science. We've demystified the idea of a prompt, seeing it simply as the instruction we give to guide the conversation. And we've armed ourselves with some really practical tips for writing better prompts, being specific, assigning a role, defining the format, and using follow-up questions. Now, all that's left to do is to put this knowledge into practice. The best way to get good at writing prompts is, well, to write prompts. Think about something you're curious about right now. Maybe you want a simple recipe for dinner tonight. Perhaps you want to understand a scientific concept that has always confused you. Or maybe you just want a silly poem about your pet cat. Whatever it is, that's your starting point. Open up ChatGPT and try to formulate a prompt using the techniques we discussed. Start with a simple question, then see if you can make it more specific. Try asking it to respond in a certain style. Don't worry about getting it perfect on the first try. Experimentation is part of the fun. The wonderful thing about this tool is that it's a safe space to be curious. There are no bad questions. Every prompt you write is a chance to learn, both about your topic and about how to communicate more effectively with this AI. As you practice, you'll start to develop an intuition for what makes a good prompt. You'll learn how a small change in wording can lead to a completely different and often better response. You'll be building a new kind of literacy for our increasingly digital world, a skill that will become more and more valuable over time. So I encourage you to go out there and explore. Use ChatGPT to help you write an email, plan a trip, learn a new skill, or just to have a creative conversation. See it as your personal assistant, your brainstorm buddy, and your endlessly patient tutor. By mastering the simple art of the prompt, you're not just learning how to use a piece of software. You're learning how to ask better questions, how to clarify your own thoughts, and how to unlock a world of information and creativity that is, quite literally, right at your fingertips. The adventure is just beginning.